Okay, I guess this will be a good place to, we'll skip this person coming through. Okay, person through. So I guess this would be a good place to, um, should we start over now? Um, yeah, new channel, right? So, hey, YouTube. So I guess this one is more about psychology, I guess. Still kind of debating. I think it's a niche. Should be a niche demand. We'll see. You'll definitely hear me ramble on a lot, I guess. Still kind of debating how am I going to edit it, but it will be like psychology, so I probably will show my face a few times. Probably not that much, because I'm not really that into myself, but let's see. Yeah, so probably be like this, probably just walking. Simpler Wines, Trader Joe's, like it, good deal. Date it, well, hell, we'll leave it up here for the doxers. I mean, if you're enough of a pussy to like a wimp, essentially, to dox someone because you can't think for yourself, then let's go ahead. We're coming up to the street sign right now. First video, you got your challenge right there. You got a sunset view, right? A sunset view. I was kind of pre-recording a video earlier on a balcony, but I'm gonna use this one instead, I guess. So, okay. What should we focus on first? Okay, well, we see a lot of cars. Let's focus on the cars. Let me think for a second what's going on. I guess we could talk about how the cars, not really cars, right? Drivers. So, that's a great example. Why is it that just now I said cars rather than the drivers? Well, that's because, I myself, in this type of neighborhood, I myself am a driver as well. But we see cars, we don't see drivers, and I wonder why. Truck driver, not very common. Why do we call ourselves cars instead of drivers? Oh, I think I know why. This one's easy. That's because if you call each other cars, then the car screwed up, not the driver. So that's why when got a new Tesla right there. That's why when we do bad things on the road, right? We don't say, that male. Usually it's a male driver. Let's be honest. It's usually nowadays probably maybe some millennial driver, right? We start off with the car he was driving, BMW driver. Good example. I used to drive one, so start off with that, and that kind of detaches the responsibility, because now we see it as it's a car problem. A car ran into a pedestrian. It's not because the driver wasn't inattentive, right? It's because the car didn't have the right technology to detect the pedestrian and stop, or the brakes weren't very good or something. There's always a little blame, and that's kind of like why I think everyone, especially here in the US, they default trash. More trash. Here in the US, they default to not guilty, right? That's like the standard thing, not guilty. Everyone knows that they're guilty, but not guilty. Let's count all the front tires. Not passing the 18-inch rule. No curbing on this one, and practically the rest of these cars are not going to have the wheels curbed. To be fair, it is a high school, but at the same time, when I was in high school, we kind of took, or at least myself, I feel like our I'm not trying to be divisive here or anything, but I feel like our age group, because I'm in psychology, so our age, there's just so many of them. There's more cars. I feel like if this was like back in the early 2000s, well, first of all, there wouldn't be cars here because, like, I just feel like there's more cars nowadays, for sure, than, when I was walking these streets at high school age. So, yeah, I mean, if you're good at piecing random things together, then you're gonna like this channel. And if not, then, I mean, I probably already lost you a very long time ago. But yeah, if you're still here, you're probably a smart person, in my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, I just like going on these walks. They're just very peaceful, I guess. Or, you just got to do what you got to do. If you're stuck at home or whatever, then I don't know, just a random walk. It takes a lot of effort sometimes, but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, like the phone I'm recording on it now, it's 256 gigabytes. So, I mean, for me, I mean, you're watching a YouTube channel, so yeah, it's not going to be enough. So I probably will change it back to, because I used to have 1 terabyte, years ago, which was like massive back then. But yeah, I definitely feel the storage pinch, having trouble with backing up the phone, So I got this idea from just kind of thinking about a friend's situation on Instagram, because like my thing would be record video or whatever, right? And then use edits, and I would run into storage is just, as you probably already know, an issue now. So I've been having trouble with storage issues, and yeah, and no money right now though, so it's just a little workaround you gotta do. And that's kind of the whole point of this channel. Part of it's psychology, but it's like you guys get something, and then, I mean, I'm sure this channel will grow. So, I mean, my other channel is already monetized, so I'm not unfamiliar with it. I'm pretty good, as you probably already tell, at and you will be able to tell the more I talk on, thinking things through systematically. So to me, if I wanted to be like, some loser who just focuses on money all the time, I could totally do that. I could totally play. I'm not going to call myself, Elon Musk or whatever, that douchebag, but like, I get that guy's psychology to some degree. So, but that guy's a complete douchebag. So, that's not going to be us. This right here, La Costa Canyon High School, used to be a bus stop. Well, not here, but way on the other side. There's a lot of kids on e-bikes nowadays. Remember the days where you would, I don't know, for me, high school graduation, 2009. So high school for me, let's call it 2004 through 2009. So that's me, middle school, like 2003 or 5 or something. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the middle of nowhere. So I like play Pokemon Go too, and there's like a gym. Well, that thing we walk by, Summer Walk, that's a Pokemon gym. And there's another one over there, the ranch, other side, by where that lady's walking. Yeah, those two, they're gyms. That last one we passed by behind us, that one I made, because I like geography and mapping out data. So I figured, wow, like this game looks so thinned out. We could definitely use more data here. So that's kind of what I've done. And I like going this way. Oh, yeah, sometimes I play Pokemon Go, and I usually would go this way, but I guess I'm talking on video today. So yeah, I would go down this way, and I should have enough storage. Yeah, but I should definitely have way more than enough storage. This trail pretty much dead ends. It dead ends. I mean, like right now we're kind of going through, I mean, it's been developed, right? Obviously this isn't a natural trail yet. Well, not even yet, but you know what I mean. So you go through this, and it's actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice for, I mean, I'll just put it out flat. We passed by La Costa Canyon, now we're passing by Carlsbad and Encinitas. So, I mean, technically it starts in Carlsbad, ends in Encinitas, ends on Rancho Santa Fe Road. So yeah, if you're local, you're gonna like this channel because I'm very detailed, and like I said, that's why I explained the whole doxing thing. I mean, unfortunately, that's a thing, but I mean, that's really honestly, I mean, if you get offended by that, you're honestly an incel already, and do whatever the hell you want. You're still a loser either way. So then you come up to this, I made this one a Pokestop too. This one, it's an Eagle project from 2020, Thomas Gonzalez. Or I don't know, I guess he did a pretty good job, or they did, or he, if that's how they identify, but whatever. So that wasn't there when we first got here, 2003, same exact area. But I wasn't walking here in 2003 anyways. So yeah, because that would have been middle school, and yeah, I wasn't walking. Ooh, it just got really cold. And this bridge is kind of cool. There's even some water. Well, for us, this is like water, right? California, San Diego. Yeah, I mean, you kind of tell the chaparral, right? We'll see too. So I like recording in 120 FPS, and YouTube maxes out at 60, but I like 120 because it looks realistic, more realistic. That's just how our vision captures this life, I guess, or closer to. So I like 120, 4K. So, it's massive, but like, it's really weird if you think about it. The brain is pretty much a computer, right? It's a computer. So the camera sees in data, and the brain takes in data from the eyes. So, that's a little more on the cognitive psychology side. I probably will pause the video for a minute just because, I need to zipper my jacket up. Hoodie, not cashmere. Merino wool, gray. I forget the brand, but yeah, it's warmer than it looks, but we might actually have to cut, not the video short, but definitely the journey short, because, I like the grass right here. We might have to cut the video short, not the video short, the journey, just because the video is probably, it looks good, but the thing is that it's gonna get dark pretty quickly. I mean, I'll be able to see it with my own natural vision, but the camera on the video won't, and frankly, I don't like 60 FPS, and 24 is just too blurry. 30, it's complete garbage. TV, old school internet era. So I like my 120. I do a lot of photography, so I really feel like I'm not trying to be like, what's it called? I know my shit. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, you'll definitely get more nice views. So we'll definitely get a lot of nice views. I like that. So talking, nice views, exactly what I like. I like this part of it's. I mean, it doesn't feel like winter. I've been indoors a lot recently, so to me, it feels like, whoa, everything is green all of a sudden, and not necessarily. Yeah, I don't know. It hasn't really felt like it rained. It has rained a lot. This one, I tried making this one a Pokestop, but it got rejected. But I'm gonna redo it anyways. I don't know. I always kind of like how this little fence line thing comes along. It's kind of the framing for, and right now I'm not actually even looking at the video. It's literally like at chest level, but I am going to trust my video recording skills plus the stabilization that is built into the phone, right? I'm going to trust that to, and the 120 FPS. And that's what I love about the 120 FPS, that even if it's not technically as stabilized as 60, 30, or 25 or 24, I think that the jitterness, just kind of the more raw look, I think it works out well. Although on your end, you'll probably see it at 60, not 120. But it still looks good, I think. I mean, it definitely looks good if I was looking at it on my phone, which I probably will, because I rewatch a lot of my stuff. Paw prints. I rewatch a lot of my stuff. It's probably good to hear your own voice, kind of hear yourself. If you can probably accept or be comfortable with how you sound, then that's probably a good sign of confidence around other people. I'm looking at you can see it. I'm looking at a trail right now. Right there, it's just kind of weird. Diagonals from the top right to the top left under that palm tree. Yeah, because like I said, I do mapping, and that's the kind of shit that I like looking at. Where all these random trails meet up. They're trails in person, but you look at them on a satellite, it's a line. And here's a pretty good example. Here's another one. Up there, I see the line. It's just going down through here. It's going down through there. And you see you see one power pole, right? And it's just so weird when you think about it. We're right here in the middle of, for this area at least, in the middle of nowhere, right? And that's what I love about this trail. There's just nobody around here. It's super private. Talk like, quote unquote, a crazy person, right? So yeah, why is that random ass light? It's not even a light pole, but it's you know what I mean? And it's kind of weird because there's another palm tree right there, like a real palm tree. It's dying out, or it doesn't look very good in my opinion for a palm tree. But yeah, it looks kind of weird because I thought that palm tree at first was I thought it was how would I describe it? No, it looked exactly like the well, I don't want to call it a telephone pole, but that's probably what it most likely resembles. But yeah, we continue on. It's not as cold right now, so yeah, I mean, right there, another line, right there. BMX rider probably. Ooh, I'd be I'd be pretty good at tracking, honestly. Tracking, like, what's that guy's name? The Lost, the TV show. John Locke. He's not really a hunter, but he kind of becomes a hunter. He wants to go on that hunting expedition, but he has his. I don't want to give spoiler alerts, but he has his situation, but hell, he still goes for it either way. But what happens. I'm okay telling this part. Everyone knows. Well, I feel like everyone should know. At least the first episode of Lost, right? The plane crashes. I mean, to be fair, that's like 20 years ago. So, to be fair, you're watching this probably as, I would guess, either my age or Gen Z. They like our stuff, or I feel like they like our stuff. That's what I always run into. Like, there's like a nostalgia. We 1991, right? That's me. So to me, like the 90s, we lived through, but we didn't really live through it doesn't feel like we lived through it that much because we don't really remember it as well. It takes a lot more effort. So I think that's kind of how they feel about, the 2000s, when we were in high school, kind of like, we remember it, so we can definitely talk about it. And I think that's what they like for probably, if I was on ChatGPT, I would probably look it up, but I probably will look it up later and it will probably tell me. And if I remember, then I will tell you too. Like public drinking should totally be legalized. Just kind of, it's just stupid. I'm not going to get too political or anything. I probably will at some point, but extremely intelligent people, you already know what they think. So, well, if you wonder that, then you already know. If you don't wonder that, then you don't care anyways. I'm very into psychology and sociology. So, audience, be prepared. You're not going to be analyzed as an individual, right? Because we don't know each other, but you will definitely be part of what I notice and analyze from a sociology standpoint. You can't tell this one, skip it. But yeah, we'll skip that. Don't worry. How do you continue talking on videos like these, right? I think I'd be pretty good. How long has the video been? About 20 minutes, of 23 actually, of talking. So I'm pretty good at this. But, I like looking at this kind of stuff, just kind of natural formation of the geography. This right here, water comes down through here. Well, it's not just water. Think about how even this angle right here was formed. Why is it the angle shaped like that? Part of, especially how it's really cut right there. So, one, it got cut obviously by shovel. Two, the bicycles, right? The bicycles kind of created that weird cambered angle. And then you've got three, the factor of people walking. We walking don't like walking on the weird thing. The bikers like the slope. They need the slope actually, to maintain the momentum. That's why it's formed like that. So, we the walkers go on the inside rather than on the cambered side. But yeah, it's a very nice trail here, little few steps right here. This here is a pretty good neighborhood if you have kids. actually really good. Oh, and I like this bench. It might not, actually, it will show up a little bit, I think. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. This one's a little dark on your end. It says, in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, I agree with that one. Oh, I love this one. No, explanation mark. Try not, period. Do or do not. There is no try. Very wise. Whatever you call him or her, right? Or they or whatever. They don't specify. Yeah, Yoda right there. So, yeah, it's a cool bench. It's also a Poke Gym. So it's pretty popular. And temperature rose, which is a good thing because it's December, early December. We'll not even look at the number. You know, the numbers are complete BS. The date's complete BS. It's there's like no point in tracking time and dates unless you're trying to, you know, the whole system. You know, I get that part right there. Time and date. Who controls the time and date? Because, like, think about it. You might have a job. In this day and age, it's probably a dead end job, right? Let's take an example. Cashier at Petco, for example. So that's just somebody. I know, I guess. Okay, fine. We'll use that example. Random person walking here. Let's see. They're on the phone too. Ooh, Christmas light decoration. I think this is the house that randomly, well, they don't randomly turn it on, but I think it's hilarious how, I mean, here we are, and this is technically mostly $2 and $3 million houses, right? La Costa, San Diego. That's not cheap. Oh yeah, they did it. You saw that? That's the house that not randomly, but I think it's hilarious when they have the sensor lights, because like literally you've got a fence right here. We walked that big ass stretch. We're still going to walk a big ass stretch, literally to be where I'm standing right now. Like, you know how much effort it would take. It would take so much effort. I mean, you got to be targeted at this point. You know, if for that house to be like broken into, I mean, first of all, they've got to be douchebags, because like, right, you got to be flamboyant enough to where like random people know, oh, I'm hiding my jewelry here. But yeah, they turn on their lights like it's some kind of deterrence, because like what, we're gonna scramble up. We've got another random person coming up. Like, we're gonna randomly scramble up this hillside right here, just on a whim, right? So like, statistically speaking, it just doesn't make any sense. I always wonder, you know, like, people walk by, well, I don't want to trigger anyone, right? But like, people walk by, but like, are they listening? And when they are listening, how much do they act like they're listening or not listening? One time I was at the library in San Diego, and well, I like talking, you know, as you can already tell, I like talking, and I'll keep it basic, pretty much just ChatGPT on the iPad, because I like using my iPad, and that's going to be a side story some other time. I like using the iPad with a keyboard, so it's kind of like a little laptop, but I like the way I see AI and ChatGPT. I mean, that's what I use, but I guess it might be started to use generically now, right? Chat, right? That's what people call it, chat. So it's kind of like the Kleenex version, but that's what I use. It's more of a thought organizer, really, than anything. It definitely, I mean, yeah, it uses a lot of power and everything. Not good. I use it because it's very efficient in the way I feel like I use it for things to improve my own, life. And in turn, that allows me to be a person that can contribute back to society, right? So that's how I see it. And also just the whole neuro. I mean, if you're still watching this, then you can probably already tell that I'm neurodivergent some kind of way. So you probably already use it too, or should. I would highly recommend it if you don't. Should probably be on, like medication, or I don't know. Right now life is very, or my own situation, I would say, it makes things more slow and complicated, right? Let's just call it what it is: abusive family, neglectful family. You have a neglectful family, and you call that out. Once you're aware of something, neglect, right? If you're doing it by accident or not knowing, that's neglect. Then, I mean, that's a very complicated situation. You do your own thing. But to me, once you're aware of it, you could either try to, I don't want to say fix it, but like mediate or whatever, or kind of move on from it. But yeah, that's what is going on. So that kind of slows pretty much everything else down, because like what you spend most of your time, if you still live at home, which I do, if you spend most of your time at home, then that's not the environment to be in. So that's the GTFO realization right there. Jeez, what was I thinking just now? I mean, unfortunately, you're not going to tell me as an audience, but I'll think of it again. That's just how the mind works. And that's the cool thing. Just to ramble on, you don't have to focus on one conversation itself. You can have multiple conversations, multiple thoughts. Yeah, I'm not going to share. I'm probably not sharing my IQ right now. It is high. I'll just put it there. And that's the cool thing about neurodivergence, like you hang out with one person, then I don't know, it almost feels like time pauses, like it doesn't pause, it's, it didn't pause, but like kind of just pick up almost your version of, obviously, even though technically both people changed, right? Some even change a lot more than others. But I think that it doesn't feel like time changed. So like, we passed by a high school just now, but it feels like, yeah, I mean, like I feel like passed through it. The tennis courts, right? The upper roadway, and it's like, yeah, I mean, what would I say? You pass through the tennis courts, but it's like the same feeling as if you passed, even though it looks different, right? As if you passed through the tennis courts, decades ago. And, I know what it is. That's because we notice only the changes. We don't notice how it's slowly like fading away by the sun, right? Or how slowly the road and sidewalk are aging, right? We don't notice how the things get older slowly, but we notice like the big things. And I mean, I'll probably have to look this up, ChatGPT again, because like what? I mean, right now, technically I still need to transfer right now, Palomar College. I made this one a Pokestop too. Yeah, this is the neighborhood I'm talking about. Just kind of last few minutes of walking. And at this point, like I said, it's dark. You can probably only make out, and that's what I'm honestly looking at too, just kind of enjoying those last few moments of the daylight. I mean, technically we have probably like another half hour of usable light for the video at least. Then it'll be like pitch black, but another hour or so for myself, natural vision of looking at it. So right now we're gonna cross Rancho Santa Fe Road. And this right here, what we're on, is called Arroyo Vista Trail. Pretty busy right now. Like, what time is it? Like 5-ish, right? So you've pretty much people coming through, but I will show you a shortcut which you should not do. Disclaimer. If you're a cop watching this, then GTFO. Here's my method. Walk looking at the traffic. Always look before crossing, right? And I will probably, well, I'm not calling it disassociate, but little inside joke. I will probably disassociate here for 2 seconds as I cross, just so I can concentrate. Okay, no, we're good. These busy roads like this, always just keep looking, just never know. Switch. Start walking the other direction. So, I mean, at least to me, it feels like I'd rather walk rather than wait. So I think systematically like this. Just like literally just randomly walking around. To the video. Still safe. And no, we made it to the other side. I was having a microphone and headphone error because I like walking with the background noise on. It's kind of my own little world, right? It's like, I mean, technically if deaf people can walk around, then by logic, someone blasting their headphones should be able to walk around too, right? So